Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom. Woe to them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter. This prophetic message from the Most High through the prophet Isaiah regarding sophistry, meaning to cause or create argument by the means of fallacious, aka misunderstood beliefs, logic, and reasoning, in the intent to deceive or to take forms of advantage of said thing. And said thing in this event is the faith and testimony and existence of the Most High Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah Ha MESSIACH. So in this Shabbat lesson, I will show examples of Isaiah chapter 5 verse 20 in the New Testimony, how and where the Greeks and the Romans used this tactic on Paul. So enjoy the study, and with the Most High's permission, sophisticated sophistry. Let's begin. Before I begin the lesson, I first must establish the groundwork that we may find our bearings or degrees to navigate this course. Firstly, the Most High gave Moshe our laws on how to conduct or govern ourselves, which was a form of theocracy. Most of the ancient nations of people during that time in history did the like manner. Israel, speaking for ourselves, anointed leaders, right? Elders, the priest, our prophets, and at times of war, our judges. Fast forward a few hundred years, we demand monarchy, the creation of a God king, which started with Saul, eventually splitting the nation of Israel in two, the northern kingdom, Israel, and the southern kingdom, Judah, with their respected kings. Northwest of the Mediterranean Sea, Athens, Greece, where a new form of government is being developed called democracy. So how were laws passed? Or the better question being, how were any laws communicated? The answer is orally. Sure, records were written down throughout history, but mainly the transmissions of information were passed down by word of mouth, unless your profession required you to be literate, right? YHWH taught in the public, not from any written accord. Most people, or common men, could only write their names. Why? Because of oaths, witnesses, for legal contracts or transactions. So, any literature that was produced was read aloud in a public forum. Now, into the 5th century before Christ, Athens, Greece, the sophist, known as the wise man, an expert in his craft, to be clever or skilled in areas such as philosophy, rhetoric being the art of being skilled, craft, the dexterity, the imagination of persuasion, the ability to propagate, coerce, indoctrinate, and influence a person's beliefs and behaviors. This study of elocution and rhetoric began with the Greeks within the walls of the academy, the academia founded by Plato. These sophists would debate or conduct public speaking. To display their craftiness, some, if deemed good, will receive invitation to debate within the assembly or church, thus training the use of Greece for high public positions, such as sophists themselves or upcoming politicians. To include or for being considered a good debater would create wages for themselves for their art of rhetoric. And they took Paul and brought him to Areopagus, saying, "May we know what this new doctrine, whereof you speakest, is, for you bringest certain strange things to our ears. We would know, therefore, what these things mean." For all the Athenians and strangers, which were there, spent their time in nothing else, but either to tell or to hear some new thing. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but to us, which are saved, It is the power of the Most High. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer, the sophist? Where is the disputer of this world? Have not the Most High made foolish the wisdom of this world? For after that, in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. It pleased the Most High, by the foolishness of the preaching, to save them that believe. For the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. But we preach YHWH crucified, and the Jews a stumbling block, and to the Greeks foolishness. But to them which are called, both Jews and Greeks, YHWH Ha MESSIACH, the power of the Most High, and the wisdom of the Most High, because the foolishness of the Most High is wiser than men, and the weakness of the Most High is stronger than men. Within 1 Corinthians, the first 4 chapters, Paul describes what Sophia, or true wisdom, is during Paul's ministry, and not through clever or lofty words and thoughts to fancies one's ears, the message of the cross and the power of salvation to change a person from the inside out, only to be shamed, scoffed, and ridiculed. I say again, let no man think me a fool, if otherwise, yet as a fool receive me, that I may boast myself a little. That which I speak not after the Most High, but as it were foolishly, in this confidence of boasting, seeing that many glory after the flesh, I will glory also. For you suffer fools gladly, seeing you yourselves are wise. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. For they, being ignorant of the Most High's righteousness, and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves to the righteousness of the Most High. For Ha MESSIACH is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone that believeth. And I, brethren, when I came to you, came not with excellency of speech or of wisdom, declaring to you the testimony of the Most High. For I determined not to know anything among you, save or only YHWH Ha MESSIACH, and him crucified. And I was with you in weakness and in fear and in much trembling. And my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words of the man's wisdom, but in demonstration with the Ruach HaKodesh and of power. Because Paul was not learned in the speech of rhetoric, and that became a problem with the Corinthians in comparison to the sophists of his time, and since Paul was also not accepting money for his ministry, suggested to the Corinthians that he could not teach at all, judging the gospel based on fleshly attributes. And a great example of that is in chapter 9. Paul, also being short, thin-haired, had a unibrow, crooked legs. The sophist's physique was that of an athlete. Another aspect how and why these teachers, these sophists, were held in such high regards. So these were the conditions Paul was facing: competition of the sophists, competition between the sophists between themselves, and peer pressures from the Corinthians between Apollos, Peter, and himself. All these events are within the first 4 chapters of 1 Corinthians. For it had been declared to me of you, my brethren, by them which are of the house of Chloe, that are contentious among you. Now this I say, that every one of you saith, I am of Paul, and I am of Apollos, and I am of Cephas, and I am of Ha MESSIACH. Is Ha MESSIACH divided? Was Paul crucified for you? Or were you baptized in the name of Paul? Well, that looks like that's all the time we have. And all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem YHWH Ha MESSIACH, the High Priest forever, after the order of Melchizedek. And until next time, Yah willing, Shalom Lakem.